Welcome back to Story Orbit N, the podcast that takes you on a fun journey through amazing personal stories and, oh yeah, teaches you English along the way. I am your host, Jessica, and I have my co-host, the one and only Tom, sitting right next to me.
What a warm introduction, Jessica. I feel like a celebrity now. Thank you for those very kind words. I'm excited to be here and ready to dive into today's topic, which promises to be both fun and highly educational.
It definitely will be fun, Tom, because today we're playing a classic icebreaker game called Two Truths and a Lie. This is a fantastic activity for getting to know people, and more importantly for our listeners, it is an excellent way to practice making statements and asking questions in English.
I love that game. I think it is an absolute genius choice for an English lesson because it forces you to be creative with your language, which helps with fluency. However, I have to say that I am far too good at lying, which will make it really difficult for you to guess my statements correctly.
Oh, is that so, Mr. Professional Liar? Well, we will certainly put that to the test. Remember the rules: 3 statements about yourself, 2 are completely true, and 1 is a deliberate lie. Tom, you are up first, so hit me with your first set of 3.
My pleasure, Jessica. Here are my 3 statements. Listen very closely to all of them. 1. I have never in my life tasted any kind of soda or fizzy drink. 2. I once worked as an extra in a major Hollywood movie. 3. I have a massive phobia of all types of birds, especially pigeons.
Wow, Tom, these are excellent statements, and they are all quite strange and a little bit surprising. Okay, I'm going to start with statement number 1, the one about never drinking soda. What do you usually drink when you are out at a restaurant or a big party?
That is a clever question, but the answer is very simple. I stick to water or sometimes a little bit of juice. That is all. I just do not like the intense sweetness of soda, and the fizzy feeling has always bothered me, even when I was a child.
That is quite unusual, but I suppose I can believe that. Now, let's move to statement number 2 about working in a Hollywood movie. Which movie was it, and what was your exact role in that very big production?
It was a very popular action movie called Explosion City 3 that came out about 5 years ago. And I was just one of the anonymous background pedestrians who had to run away from a big explosion, which was actually quite fun.
Running away from an explosion sounds like a very exciting job for a day. Okay, my last set of questions is for statement number 3, your very serious phobia of birds. When did this fear actually start, and what is the absolutely worst bird encounter you have ever had to deal with?
I've been afraid of them since I was about 7 years old, after a seagull swooped down and stole my ice cream cone right out of my hand at the beach. And the worst encounter was definitely walking through Trafalgar Square in London, where the pigeons are absolutely everywhere and totally unafraid of people.
Ah, a classic ice cream betrayal. You have done a great job of answering my questions, Tom, but I'm going to focus on the soda statement. I think the lie is statement number 1. I have never tasted any kind of soda or fizzy drink.
And the shocking truth is, you are absolutely right, Jessica. Statement number 1 is the lie. I love soda, and I drink it almost every single day, so I definitely have tasted it.
Yes! I knew it! I figured the Hollywood extra story was exactly the kind of bizarre truth you would have, and a seagull trauma story was just too specific and emotionally detailed to be completely fake.
Well played. Let's take a quick moment right here to focus on a piece of vocabulary that I use that our English learners might not know, the word phobia.
That is a great word to explain. A phobia is a noun, and it means an extreme or irrational fear of something. It is more than just a simple dislike. It's a very strong, often debilitating fear that can cause real panic or distress.
Exactly. I said I have a massive phobia of all types of birds, meaning I have a strong, overwhelming fear of them. Other common examples of phobias include claustrophobia, which is the fear of enclosed spaces, or arachnophobia, the fear of spiders.
You can use the word in a sentence like, my friend has such a strong phobia of heights that she refuses to even stand on a tall ladder. Or you can use the adjective form, he is completely phobic about flying, so he always travels by train.
Okay, that's a good vocabulary boost. Now it's your turn to try and trick me, Jessica. Give me your first set of 3 statements now, and please make them good ones.
Here they come, Tom. 1, I successfully ran a half marathon, which is about 21 kilometers, completely barefoot. 2, I have read over 300 books. 3. I am an identical twin, but we were separated at birth.
An identical twin separated at birth? That sounds like the plot of a dramatic movie. I am going to have to dive right into that one first, of course. For statement number 3, where did you eventually meet your long-lost twin sister? And how did you finally recognize each other?
Well, we met, completely by coincidence, at a university orientation event, which is another bizarre truth. We recognize each other immediately because of a very distinct birthmark on our left arm, which was the same shape and size.
Wow, that is an incredible story, and it is going to be very hard to call that a lie. Let's move to statement number 1, running a half marathon barefoot. Why did you decide to run that long race without wearing any shoes on your feet?
I did it as part of a very weird charity challenge, and the organization promoted the run as a way to walk in the shoes of those less fortunate. They made it a mandatory rule for all of the participants, which was a very difficult and painful way to run a race.
That sounds absolutely painful. Okay, last question is for statement number 2, reading 300 books. What is the most recent book you have finished reading?
The last book I read was a very long historical novel about the French Revolution, which took me weeks to finish.
I'm torn between the barefoot marathon and the twin separated at birth story, both of which sound just crazy enough to be true about you, Jessica, but I think I had to go with the one that gives the best emotional impact. I'm guessing the lie is statement number 3. I am an identical twin, but we were separated at birth.
And the truth is, you are absolutely right, Tom. I am not a twin at all, and that story is a complete fabrication. The lie was statement number 3.
Are you kidding me? The twin story was the lie? I was so sure, and you were so incredibly convincing with all of those small details about the birthmark and a university meeting. I just cannot believe that.
Well, you said you wanted me to be more exciting and impactful, and I definitely think that was quite an impactful lie, wouldn't you say? I'm very proud of that one, and I've learned from your technique, my friend. The Barefoot Marathon and the 300 books are both completely true facts about me.
We use the past simple for actions that started and finished at a specific time in the past. To form a regular verb in the past simple, you just add ed to the end of the base verb, like I walked or they talked.
But Tom, what about irregular verbs like the ones I used, which don't just take the ed ending? That is something that can be tricky for English learners to master.
That is a crucial point, Jessica. Irregular verbs like meet becoming met or recognize becoming recognized do not follow the usual rule, so you have to learn their past forms. For example, the past simple of run is ran, as you used in your true statement, I successfully ran a half marathon.
That is a very important point for our listeners to focus on. When you are creating your own statements for this game, try to use a mix of regular and irregular verbs in the past simple to practice both.
Okay, I have to redeem myself now, so I have a second set of statements ready to go for this round. Listen carefully, Jessica. I will not be fooled by your clever questioning this time around.
I am ready for whatever you throw at me, Tom. I am feeling very confident about my detective skills right now, so bring on your next 3 surprising statements.
Here is my second set. 1. I have a hidden talent for solving a Rubik's Cube in under 2 minutes. 2. I once won a very large karaoke competition and was awarded a cash prize. 3. I have traveled to 4 different continents and have visited every single one of them. Now, what is your first question, Detective Jessica?
Okay, let's start with statement number 2. The karaoke competition. Which song did you sing to win the competition, and how much money did you actually win in the end?
I sang a very famous power ballad by an 80s rock band, and it was a very difficult song to perform live, I have to tell you. I ended up winning a whopping $500, which I used to buy a new guitar.
A power ballad, that is quite the choice. Now, let's talk about the Rubik's Cube again. Statement number 1. When did you first learn to solve it?
I learned it when I was about 15. I practice it every day to keep my time fast, which is a great stress reliever.
Lastly, statement number 3, traveling to 4 different continents. Which continent had you not visited yet, and which of the 4 you visited was your favorite to travel to?
The continent I haven't visited is South America, so I really need to get down there someday soon. And my favorite continent that I have visited so far has to be Asia, specifically Japan, which I thought was truly amazing and incredibly fascinating.
I am going to have to focus on the details of the karaoke competition. I'm guessing the lie is statement number 2. I once won a very large karaoke competition and was awarded a cash prize.
You were so close, Jessica, but you were incorrect. The lie was actually statement number 1. I also cannot solve a Rubik's Cube.
What? You also cannot solve the Rubik's Cube?
No, I told you I had been practicing, Jessica. The karaoke story is absolutely true. I won $500 and bought a new guitar. And the 4 continents travel is also true. My trip to Japan was one of the best experiences of my entire life.
Well, I have to say I'm impressed, Tom. Since you mentioned the 4 continents, let's talk about the present perfect tense again, because it is perfect for talking about these kinds of life experiences.
That is a great idea. I said I have traveled to 4 different continents. I didn't say when I traveled, just that the action happened sometime in the past, and that I have the experience of having done it. Remember, it is have plus the past participle of the verb, which in this case is traveled.
We should also quickly look at the sentence structure that I used to ask the question about your travels. Which continent have you not visited yet? This is a great way to use a present perfect question to check the full range of someone's past experiences.
That is a very smart question, and it uses the question word which to ask about a specific item from a small group. We also included the word yet, which is an adverb that means up to now or so far.
Let's explain that word yet a little more clearly. We usually place yet at the very end of a sentence or a question when we are talking about an action that we expect to happen soon, or an action that is still incomplete.
So, if you ask, have you finished your homework yet? You are asking if the homework is complete up to this moment in time. Or you could say, I haven't had my coffee yet this morning, to express that the action is still incomplete.
That is a clear and helpful explanation, Tom. Now, it is my turn again.
I'm feeling very good about my tasks this time, Jessica. Lay your 3 statements on me and prepare for my most difficult questions yet.
My third set of statements is as follows. 1. I have a recurring nightmare where I am chased by a gigantic slice of pizza. 2. I once appeared in a music video for a very famous pop star. 3. I have never learned how to tie my shoelaces and I only wear slip-on shoes.
That first statement about the giant pizza is highly specific and slightly bizarre, which makes me think it might be the truth. Let's start with statement number 2, the music video appearance. Which famous pop star was the music video for, and what exactly were you doing in the background of the video?
It was for a song by a pop star named Lottie Sparklestar Smith James, who was very popular about 10 years ago. And I was just dancing very poorly in the background with about 30 other people, trying not to look directly at the camera.
A pop star named Lottie Sparklestar Smith James? I don't think I've ever heard of her. Okay, now for the giant pizza nightmare. Statement number 1. How do you manage to escape the pizza in the nightmare? And why do you think your mind created such a ridiculous fear in the first place?
That's a deep question, Tom. I never manage to escape the pizza. That's the terrifying thing, and it always catches me right before I wake up in a total panic. I think my mind created it because I am very conscious about eating too much junk food, which is where my fear comes from.
That makes a strange kind of psychological sense. Now, let's talk about the shoelaces. Statement number 3. How old were you when you realized you actually couldn't tie your shoelaces? And have you ever tried to learn as an adult to do it?
I was probably around 8 or 9 when I realized that all of my friends knew how to tie them, and I didn't, so I started wearing only shoes that slip on and off. And no, I have never tried to learn as an adult because I don't see the point anymore, since my entire shoe collection is slip-ons.
That is an amazing level of commitment to avoiding a very simple task, which again makes it sound strangely true. I'm going to take a huge risk here, Jessica, because you are so convincing about the pizza nightmare. I'm guessing the lie is statement number 3. I have never learned how to tie my shoelaces, and I only wear slip-on shoes.
And my dear Tom, you're incorrect. The lie was statement number 2. I was never in a Lottie Sparklestar Smith James music video.
No way! So the shoelace thing is true? That is absolutely astonishing, Jessica. I thought for sure that had to be the lie. That is such a simple life skill to miss out on. You are shocking me with all of these bizarre truths.
It is completely true, Tom. I literally only own slip-on shoes and I rely on them completely.
Wow, I can't believe that.
Got you! That brings us to the end of this highly energetic and quite shocking episode of Story Orbit N. Thank you all for tuning in, and please give this video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed our game of two truths and a lie.
So, everyone listening right now, we challenge you to play this game with us. Comment down below your own 3 statements, 2 truths, and 1 lie about yourself.
That's right. Write them in the comments, and then other people can try to guess which one of your statements is the deliberate lie. Let's see who can create the most convincing and difficult lie.
It's the perfect way to practice your English and read other people's excellent detective questions. Goodbye.
Good luck with your lies, everyone. Bye.